Closed captioning for the Casey Malone Show is sponsored by Hunter Stevens Land Title Agency. Integrity, service, and commitment you can trust.
Oh yeah, Casey Malone is serving up local. It's time for the stories of our region, the tastes, the sights, the sounds, and the people in and around the valley. Get ready for some local flavor on the Casey Malone Show.
Today, I visit the House of Aaron to prepare for the high holiday. And I bake chocolate chip cookies with sea salt. They're delicious. But first, it's cookie tables and cocktails, a great event. Well, one of the biggest fundraisers for the Mahoning Valley Historical Society is the Cookie Tables and Cocktail event. And Frank is on the board, Frank Ruley, and this was one of the board's ideas as the major fundraiser.
That's right. We've been talking about doing a fundraiser for a long time. Several years ago, we finally decided to settle on the cookie table.
And it really is unique to Youngstown, isn't it, the cookie table concept?
Yeah, we've actually done some research, and the cookie table is popular in a very small region. Basically, it's Youngstown, a little bit of western Pennsylvania, and Pittsburgh.
I mean, because if you have a bad cookie table at your wedding, I think it means like a bad curse. People are like, I mean, it really, you try to outdo each other at weddings and social events.
They're not going to talk about the marriage. They're going to talk about the cookie table, how big it was.
I love the saying, you know, you get engaged and your neighbors are like, oh, I'm already greasing my cookie sheets. You know, and it's so
Take
cute.
dibs on the kolache, yeah.
Exactly. The Slovaks love it. The Italians, of course, are great cookie makers, Hungarians. And how important is this fundraiser for the Historical Society?
Oh, you know what? It's really important. When I first joined the board, we did very little fundraising outside of private campaigns. So this is the first major public fundraiser that we've begun hosting. So it's really important.
I mean, it's really well attended. You've already outgrown the Tyler Center.
Yes.
So
yes.
This year you had to come to Mount Carmel. Can it get any bigger? Do you have trouble getting bakers?
Actually, we had to turn people away this year, both guests and bakers, so it's really grown exponentially. And we are very excited to be at Our Lady of Mount Carmel. One of the reasons we chose the cookie table is because it's a great Youngstown tradition, the history tie-in, and what better place than Our Lady of Mount Carmel?
I know. I mean, you
tradition.
know the food is good. You know, they do a great job, the Facillo family.
Oh, they do.
Well, you remember Leanne Ridge. She is the External Relations Director for the Historical Society. And this event is off the hook. I mean, we're here in the cookie room that you don't have access to until a certain time of night. How do you plan on topping this?
Well, every year we seem to get more and more interest, more and more bakers, more and more people that want to come. We've been selling out earlier and earlier. So, you know, the more cookies we have, the more epic the table, you know, is, the cookie table, and it's just everyone loves the event.
And do you plan on trying to expand it and try to get more people here?
Yeah, that was the reason we moved from Tyler History Center over to here. We were really limited with space there anyway, you know, like 150 people or so in the ballroom, and then we were able to use the first floor. But now that our new exhibit is in at the Tyler, we couldn't use that floor anymore. So we decided to move it here, and we could expand the number of people to come and the number of bakers that we were able to take.
Mo is actually a cookie bouncer because the people are so aggressive about wanting to attack these cookies.
Yes, I was here last year, and grandmas, usually around the age of 85 to 80, they'll come in here with their purses and just start scooping them in. We have to say, hey, none of that here.
Well, I'm not going to tell everybody, but I was one of the judges, many judges yesterday that helped judge the cookie winners. And Tracy Manning organized, I don't even know. How many cookies did you receive?
We had almost 9,000 cookies this year. We had 91 individual cookie bakers that were each baking anywhere from 8 to even 24 dozen cookies, depending on their categories. We have, I want to say, 92 or 93 individual types of cookies here tonight. And yeah, it's a lot.
I mean, it was overwhelming yesterday when you had them all laid out and you're like, please, you know, cut them into quarters or halves, yes, because there is so much sugar.
Yes.
And you have to do the judging that way, because if you were to do people's choice, you would never get home.
Yeah, I mean, each baker would also have to make 350 cookies. So there's no way we can do that. So we invite a lot of community, members, community leaders, friends, let's be honest, to come out and judge these cookies. And it's a tough job. It seems like it's really fun.
No,
it's difficult.
It is. I mean, they're really, and there's so many nuances. Yes. You might get 1 million snowballs. Yes. Exactly. But then some people have a different way of making them. And I mean, it really, that was a tough job you had.
It is, yeah. And we know it's really just for fun. It's not a monetary prize that they're getting or anything. Yeah, it's really just for fun. But our judges take it just as seriously as the bakers do. So it's fantastic.
Do you want to tell me your favorite cookie?
Okay, so I'm not supposed to, but I'm going to. Janice Ferry was actually our oldest baker at this event, and she made the greatest baklava I've ever had in my life.
Bill Lawson is the executive director for the Mahoning Valley Historical Society, and I'll tell you, this event has really grown.
It sure has. Well, it was popular from the beginning, but a couple of years we've had over 300 people at the Tyler History Center. We just can't do that anymore. So we decided to come here to Our Lady of Mount Carmel's social hall, and we filled it up again. So it's like a vacuum.
And do you think this really increases awareness for what you're doing at Tyler and the Arms and all the other, spaces with our history?
Oh, we certainly hope so, because among the things we do in celebrating the history of the people of the Mahoning Valley is talk about the customs and the culture that we have here. And what better way than to have a cookie table and a buffet and lots of people, Del Sinchek and his polka band. This is what it's all about.
You are hitting all of the right sweet spots.
Yes.
And did you bake any cookies tonight?
No, I just judged in the contest, and I'll eat them later.
And what is your favorite kind of cookie? I mean, you don't have to tell me which is the winner, but what do you prefer? More of a bake, a cookie, a cake cookie or cutout? What is your preference?
Well, I'm kind of traditional. I like chocolate chip cookies, but when I come to weddings, boy, it's the clothespin cookies, the caramel cups.
The Penguins never miss the Casey Malone Show.
Erin go bra at Magic Tree.
Everybody is Irish on St. Patrick's Day, even Phil McRita. And the Magic Tree Pub and Eatery is St. Patrick's Day headquarters. But you're not doing the day. You're celebrating the whole week.
All week long here at Magic Tree Pub and Eatery.
And we're kicking it off on parade day?
Yes, 8 a.m. with a traditional Irish breakfast. Then after the parade, we will have live music all day long, followed by a whole week of craft beer specials with the breweries here with prizes.
And what about the high holiday itself?
Oh, it's going to be fun. We kick it off at 8 o'clock in the morning with green eggs and kegs, live music, bagpipers, and we finish tonight with the Chardon Polka Band.
Always a party in your favorite cocktails. Here's to St. Patrick's Day.
Sláinte!
Sláinte!
Celebrate the 40th annual Mahoning Valley St. Patrick's Day Parade. Join us on Sunday, March 11th as the parade steps off at 1 o'clock on Market Street in Boardman. Proudly supported by these great local sponsors.
Mayflower Woolham is your full-service independent insurance agency for what matters most. Home, auto, life, boat, RV, umbrella. We'll find the right product at the right price for your family. Mayflower Woolham with 3 locations to serve you.
Here at the Upstairs, we cater to everyone. When you come through the door, I treat you as though you're my friend. So there's all kinds of options here at the Upstairs. There's something on that menu for everyone. Great food, friendly service, very clean restaurant. There's a lot of restaurants, a lot of good restaurants in our community. So I always feel honored when someone comes here. I want everybody coming through that door to leave here with a good experience.
Join the Island Purple Cat family. Employment opportunities are available. Given is living.
Part of growing up in Youngstown is growing up with Worley Brothers Markets. Even friends who have moved out of town come to shop and say hi when they're home for a visit.
And my family has always shopped at Rulli's, and today they are still my favorite grocery store. My recipes depend on the best ingredients, and that's why I get them at Rulli's, where you'll always find the freshest food at the best prices.
Rulli Brothers is a proud sponsor of the Casey Malone Show. The quality that customers have come to expect is true local flavor.
$5 Burger Mondays at Sadie's Place, inside the Best Western, Route 46, Austintown. Today, I'm not going to try to reinvent the wheel because there are so many chocolate chip cookie recipes out there. But I needed to make a better one. Well, I was traveling with my mother. We were in Los Angeles, and we had eaten at this great restaurant called The Misfit. And it was down in Santa Monica, and they don't serve desserts. So when we got the bill, the waitress brings over cookies. And it was chocolate chip cookies with sea salt. And honestly, they were the best cookie I've ever eaten. So my mother says, you better get on this recipe. You've got to make these on the show. So I scoured the internet. I went through all my cookbooks, and I was trying to make the best cookie recipe. And I think I have finally come up with one. There was a lot of errors, but now I have found success. This cookie is absolutely the best chocolate chip cookie you will ever eat. So let's get started because you are going to love this and thank me later. For this recipe, you'll need 2 cups of cake flour, 1 2/3 cups bread flour, 1 1/4 teaspoons of baking soda, 1 1/2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 1/2 teaspoons of sea salt, and you'll also need additional for sprinkling on the cookies, 2 1/2 sticks of unsalted butter, 1 1/4 cups light brown sugar, 1 cup of granulated sugar, 2 large eggs, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, and 10 to 16 ounces of dark chocolate chips. Well, before we start mixing the butter and sugars, let's combine the flours. And we're also going to add the baking soda, the baking powder, and the sea salt. Ooh. And we will just mix this together. And we'll set this aside. All right, because we're gonna add this in a little bit. Now I've softened the unsalted butter, so we are gonna add this to the bowl of my mixer. I know it seems like a lot of butter and a lot of ingredients, but this makes a lot of cookies. And then we are going to add both sugars, the granulated and the brown sugar. All right. Got that going. So now we'll put this down. Make sure you use the paddle attachment. And then I'm going to put this on medium. And we're gonna let this mix for 5 to 7 minutes until it's really creamy. That looks good. So now let me scrape it down one more time. And now we will start to add the flour and the dry ingredients. Now you don't want these to get gluey. So we're just going to be adding a little bit at a time until it's thoroughly mixed together, and then we'll stop. It will take, I don't know, 10, 20, 30 seconds because we don't want to overbeat this dough. All right, so I'll put it on low and I'll start adding the flour a little bit at a time, just on low. All right, so there you have it. You just don't want to over mix the dough. It's like bread or pie crust. Now I think the secret to these chocolate chip cookies are the dark chocolate. I am a big fan of the dark chocolate. Now, if you like the bittersweet or the milk chocolate, you can customize it to that. But these are a darker chip. Ghirardelli makes a really nice one. even Nestle and Hershey's has dark. And this is a 12-ounce bag. And we will just mix these together. We don't want to break them up too much until it is thoroughly combined. And then, we're not putting these in the oven. These are going to need to chill for about 6 to 8 hours. That, I think, is the secret to really great chocolate chip cookies. So I've double wrapped the dough, and now I'm going to put it in the refrigerator. But I'm not gonna make you wait 8 hours until it's cold, because I made one last night. So we'll unwrap this. It is nice and chilled, let me tell you. And we will start preparing these cookies. I really don't like a big cookie, so I go about an inch ball, about an inch size of my knuckle, and they don't spread much. So try to keep them consistent. Roll them in ball, because this is a nice chilled dough. And then we'll just put them on the cookie sheet. Make sure you use parchment. That way you can reuse it. You don't have added grease or butter. Preheat your oven to 350, and we'll get this sheet ready to go. Now, I'm not going to flatten the cookies, but I just pressed down a little bit, and I'm going to put the sea salt on now before I put them in the oven. This is my favorite sea salt, Malden. It's from Malden, England. They're right there by the sea, and it's so flaky. It's the best to cook with, and it works perfectly on these cookies. So you just sprinkle a little bit on each cookie, see? Not a whole lot. There's no iodine in this salt. And you want to make sure that it sticks. So if you need to, just press a little bit in. So the salt is on. I'm going to put these in the preheated oven of 350 for 17 minutes. You might want to start checking it at 15 if your oven isn't consistent. Make sure you put it on the middle rack. And these cookies will be done in a little bit. So after baking, let them cool on the sheet for about 10 minutes, and then move them over to a cooling rack. And wait till you taste these. These are so warm. Perfect mix of sweet and salt, a little bit of crunch, but a little bit of chew. These are outstanding. Don't take my word for it. My cameraman, Bill, he said it was the best chocolate chip cookie he has ever eaten. You are gonna love this. Go to my website, CaseyMaloneShow.com, and look for the recipe for my chocolate chip cookie with sea salt. Cheers. Oh, go. The Casey Malone Show will be right back with more local flavor.
At the Vein Center and Med Spa, we realize the serious health issue varicose veins can cause. We know it's more than just cosmetic. We provide you with caring and personal service in a clean and friendly atmosphere. All vein procedures are done in our office during convenient and flexible hours by a medical doctor with over 20 years experience. The Vein Center and Med Spa also offers fillers and neurotoxin procedures, hydrofacials, and laser hair removal services. Call the Vein Center and Med Spa for a free consultation. See why our patients leave satisfied. Now accepting Anthem and Highmark.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Bernard. I've been giving the people of our valley free advice for 30 years, and my message has never changed. If you're involved in an automobile accident, don't try to handle it yourself. Call a lawyer. A lawyer will be your representative, dealing with doctors, medical insurance, and all the red tape that you may encounter. Hiring a lawyer doesn't mean you'll end up in court, and remember, there are no upfront fees on personal injury cases.
That's good advice. Need a lawyer? Learn more at ElizabethBernardLaw.com.
To own a business where your name's on the window can be pretty cool. That's my family. My name is Danny Catullo, and I'm the owner of Catullo Prime Meats. My grandfather started the business in 1962. I was able to take our old style butcher shop and bring it out to the new age using e-commerce to get our products to more customers. When we started shipping, there was not a ton of information out there. That's where we really worked with FedEx so they could be able to help us with our perishable shipping. We were taking on new purchases that we never had to make before. Boxes, coolers, ice packs, anything that was involved around shipping. So we can no longer do this with the cash that we had on hand. So because of the Plum Card from American Express and all of its benefits, it was a natural fit to help grow our business. And when someone calls and lets you know that you made their dinner, that's satisfaction that you can't get anywhere else.
I am blessed with a wonderful husband. He stuck with me through thick and thin, and he's a fantastic father. So when he needed long-term care, not just any place would do, we did our research. Everyone said, trust the name you know, Briarfield. With all those locations, there's always one close. That made it easy for me and the kids to visit more often, Briarfield.
Trust the name you know, Briarfield, proudly serving the Valley for over 20 years.
Mayflower Woolham is your full-service independent insurance agency for your business. We work with several companies so you have choices for your insurance needs. Commercial properties, professional liability, bonding, and general. Trust Mayflower Woolham.
Celebrate the 40th annual Mahoning Valley St. Patrick's Day Parade. Join us on Sunday, March 11th as the parade steps off at 1 o'clock on Market Street in Boardman. Proudly supported by these great local sponsors.
It's time to get real about getting engaged. Real experts you can count on.
Real pricing and financing for your budget. And really one-of-a-kind engagement rings
That are unique as she is. Get real, get Kamara.
Get real, get Kamara.
in the Coal Creek Plaza in Canfield.
4 for 5 till 6. Happy hour at Sadie's Place inside the Best Western, Route 46, Austintown. The House of Aaron in Boardman is in the business of all things Irish. Balik china, crystal, Aaron knitwear, and Irish jewelry, all imported from Ireland, can be found here. Celebrate St. Patrick's Day every day at the House of Aaron. I'm here at the House of Aaron on Southern Boulevard in Boardman with the owner, Dick Conklin. And this is not a store that you come just for St. Patrick's Day. This is a store where you can come and find beautiful quality Irish goods all year long. Dick, how long have you had the House of Aaron?
We've been here since 1995.
And what made you decide that the Youngstown market was ready for an authentic Irish goods store?
Well, the summer of 1991, my wife and I were shopping in an Irish shop in Cleveland, and the lady there, kind of when we were talking about different things, she said, I was thinking about setting up a kiosk at your mall for St. Patrick's, for Christmas. So I'm thinking, well, I was thinking about retiring from the post office at that time. I said, I'm going to give it a try. So my wife and I did that, 1991. After Christmas, it turned out to be pretty well. It was a pretty good show. We took all the stuff back. We went to a trade show in Chicago, bought a bunch of stuff, and we did it on our own at this kiosk until 1995.
You have so many beautiful gift items with the Galway crystal and the Balik and that. What are some of the top sellers you have here in the store?
The biggest seller we have is our jewelry. All our jewelry was made in Ireland, so we sell a lot of the Cladar rings and the Celtic crosses. That and the Balik china are our big sellers.
Now your store probably has more Notre Dame merchandise than any store in our region. How did you come to be such a huge Fighting Irish fan?
If you're an Irish Catholic person, when you're 6 months old, you're a Notre Dame fan.
Maureen Coughlin is Dick's daughter and also helps here at the House of Barron. I love this family picture. This is a beautiful frame, Maureen. And you can make these, you can order these and have
You can order these and we'll get it in just a few weeks.
individualized with all the family members' name. Oh, with your mom and brother.
You can have as many names as you'd like on there.
I love that. So how do you like working at this store?
Oh, I love this store. This store, my dad, this is our 20th year. 1995, we opened up here. I do most of the ordering and the managing.
And how do you find, things that will appeal that, the people haven't seen before? Is that a lot of work investigating, trying to find some different takes on things?
Well, it's a crapshoot because you go to a trade show and there's so much stuff. And so you're trying to decide what will sell for our customer base. Somebody else's who has a shop in Pittsburgh can sell different stuff than we can sell here in Youngstown. And it's really can be hard. We can buy stuff that will sit here, and we'll buy stuff we can't keep in stock.
What is your favorite part of work each day?
The Irish people coming in, getting to know the Irish community.
Now, I know you have a lot of the St. Patrick's party stuff, but that's not what you usually have on hand.
Now, after St. Patrick's Day, that all goes away, and we get out the general merchandise then.
But you do see a good business all year long. I mean, because it's always a good time to buy some beautiful
Well,
Irish
see, you
things.
have birthdays, you have weddings, graduations, Mother's Day, Father's Day. Somebody's always looking for something with a shamrock on it, and that helps us.
The Casey Malone Show is sponsored in part by Denise and John York and the DeBartolo Corporation.